Hello everybody and welcome to Bitcoin Billionaire. Today I will be talking about how to tell where we are into the bull cycle for Bitcoin Billionaire. So welcome everybody. Very excited to be here with you guys at my pool house. All right. Alrighty guys, so welcome to Bitcoin Billionaire. I'm just gonna hide this thing here because it's not relevant. And so we will be looking at the price prediction from my point of view. And I know that many people are predicting this is the end of the bull cycle. So the question is it the end of the bull cycle, really? And can anyone really predict the end of the bull cycle in the short term? And I'm gonna tell you the answer is no. No one on this planet can accurately predict the end of the bull cycle in the short term. Anyone can predict the end of the bull cycle in the long term if you understand how the bull cycle works. So let's jump into it and let me share with you how it all is going to work for you. Hold on a second while I change the application. Oops, right here. Okay, so we're gonna go through the different indicators to understand what's going on with Bitcoin. And the first thing we can see is the MA on a 50-day, right? And it's hit that line there. We can absolutely see that it's hit the 50-day. And the question is it going to break through, right? And those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I teach that the movement breathes in and then breathes out. Breathes in, breathes out, breathes in and breathes out, right? And now it's just touched the 50-day moving average, as we can see there. And the question is it going to break that? And so what I want to basically say, in my opinion, right, looking at what a lot of YouTube channels, and I don't agree because I think they're just trying to use clickbait and they're just trying to sell you with their affiliate links instead of trying to give you really good trading advice, because right now could be a good buying opportunity, because the normal Bitcoin that has been going on in this bull cycle that's been kind of the normal behavior that has been going on the 50-day moving average. Now, does it mean that it will not break that? No, it has broken the 20-day in the past, right? And it has moved all the way down, of course. And if we look at that, in a worst case scenario, if this is not the end of the bull cycle, you should understand a few things. Number one, you should understand that the bull cycle is not definitely over unless we go to the next level down. So let me delete all that for 1 minute. And let's go down. If it was to break this 50-day moving average, then we're going to go to the bottom. And this is moving up all the time, right? And about 37 to, approximately probably go like this. And that's basically like, if it goes below that level, then we would consider that the bull cycle is over. But we are very far from that, as we can see. This is not a small amount. That's a huge amount to go down, okay? That we're talking now at 24, 25%. Now, I don't deny that it's possible that that can happen, right? Bitcoin has went down, but if we calculate from all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, yeah, that will be a 37% drop. And we have seen that in the past, 40%. We've seen much bigger drops than that. We've seen 70% drops in the past in a bull cycle, and then they climb all the way back up. So it's not impossible, okay, that it goes all the way down and then bounces off, right, and then goes back up. Now, so what do? If you can't predict the short term, now many people are going to tell you they can, but I disagree. I think no one can accurately predict. So the movement, right, of the Bitcoin can go in three different ways. It can go up, it can go sideways, it can go down. There is no fourth alternative, okay? So generally speaking, what everybody tells you is like, okay, if it goes up, do this. If it goes down, do this. And that's not bad advice. That's actually how you should think. Instead of trying to say, I know it's going to crash, which many people are trying to say, I would say, well, what's my plan if it goes up? What's my plan if it goes down? What's my plan if it goes sideways? Because when Bitcoin goes sideways, what happens to the altcoins? They start going up. So you should have a plan for all three. You should have a plan for investing now. But if you're if you're too invested right now, if you like all of your funds is invested and you don't feel you can handle the risk because you think, what if it is the end of the bull cycle? Then what am I going to do? What if it crashes? Because that's what everybody's really scared, right? Which I don't think it will ever go back to 10,000 or 15,000. I think I've heard some crazy stuff like that, and it's just not, realistic. So what is realistic? We're going to look at, right? There are many different ways to tell how high and how low the bull cycle goes. This is one of the charts, and no, you don't have access to that unless you pay for that. So I have access to all these charts, and it kind of lets you know where we are in the bull cycle. And we can see that according to this, we have not reached the top yet. Okay, so I don't know who's saying it's the end of the bull cycle right now, but there's a lot of different tools that people use that. According to this, we can go up even 88% up. Actually, if we go all the way here, yeah, it's about 96%. If we went all the way to the top, that would be 96% up from the current price. And we can see based on so far, okay, I'm not saying that's an indicator that everyone can rely on, but we can see that, hey, it's bounce off this, one back up, right? Bounce off that again, one back up, bounce off that, one back up, and now it just bounced. So is it gonna go up? Or is it going to go down? Well, there is a slight chance that it can go down, but you should have a plan. Maybe you sell some of your investments in case it goes down, you can buy it again. Now, I don't believe it's the end of the bull cycle like many people are saying, right? I think if we go back to this, I think it will probably bounce off that. Now, am I 100% certain? No, nobody's 100% certain. That's why you need to have a plan. And no one, listen to me when I say this, no one can predict accurately all the time. You always heard this, just as I predicted, and I just don't buy into that. I think that a lot of times people will say, well, I predict it's going to do that, and it will actually do what they say. But that doesn't mean that their next prediction is going to be right and the next one after that. So because of that, being rich and becoming a Bitcoin millionaire or billionaire requires that you have a plan if it goes up or if it goes down. But that being said, I do believe that you need to be ready in case of a worst case scenario. So in case of a worst case scenario, you need to be ready for that. That's why we're going to look at, well, if we look at a 20-week average, right? Let's delete all that. Then it can go. It is going up each day. But this is what a lot of people on my own, account, right? If you want to join our Telegram group, go to the group and you can look at the comments. A lot of people are talking about in my own group that a crash is coming. So that's why I'm talking about it, because how do you know? A crash is coming, sure, but no one knows when. So it's possible that we will crash, but it's also possible that we go up and we're gonna do one more run or two more, right? Or two more. And we go and we reach 100,000, right? 150, who knows? No one really knows, right? Now, is it possible that we go here and then we go up? Absolutely. So I think that it has in the past, if you look, right? If you look at what happened with Bitcoin in the past, when it was 20,000, people said it's going to go down to 5,000, right? And now it's 50,000 and people are saying it's going to go down to 15,000. And I just think that's not my way of thinking as an investor. I want to look more about, what is the worst case, right? Is the bull market over? That's what I'm going to look at. Or are we going to get one or two more runs? And by run, I mean like it's going to go up like this again, right? So what I'm saying to you is that I don't think the bull market is over for many reasons. And we'll look at what everybody's talking about, right? But one of the charts that I have that I pay for is this one. And yes, if we look at the bottom here, we can absolutely see that the best time to buy Bitcoin would be here, right? And of course, the best time to sell will be right at the top. But as we can see, according to this, we've not reached the top yet. And we are going kind of like this, down, right? And we touched it. We just touched it. So if we were to go down more and then go sideways for a while, that would be good for Bitcoin because it means we can reach higher prices. The longer it takes to reach the top, then the more we can sustain, because, you know, if we go to June, if it goes up to here, that would be like June 22 or so, June 10, May, June, right? So right now, March has never been really a good month for Bitcoin if we look at the past, right? I've talked about that in a past video. By the way, if you like the content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, okay? Right now, I've not seen your comment, but I hope everything is good. Does it sound good, guys? Let me check the sound here. But does that make sense to you so far, what I'm saying? Yeah? Hold on a second. Sorry, I was late for this live, so I literally try to get in as fast as I could here, but I want to make sure the sound is good. Hold on, I'm going to come back to that one in 1 minute. Okay, I see your comments. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to share a little bit more about the tools that I have. We'll talk about PI as well, so stick around till the end if you want to understand the way I look at it. And of course, our principle, right, is don't lose money. Yeah? So we don't want to lose money. How do we do that? Well, that requires some skills, yes? Okay. Okay, let me delete this. Delete the sound effect. Okay, bring all to front. Right. Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying that the information I have, which I paid premium dollar for as an investor myself, that's really what I care about the most. My YouTube channel, as we can know, is smaller than some. But I would guess that a lot of these Bitcoin people are making money from YouTube, and I'm not yet. Maybe one day I will, but not yet. And so I really don't think that is. I don't have any in. It doesn't matter what you think or you agree with me or not agree with me. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting no benefit from telling you none of this. Okay? So all I'm saying is that this is probably, in my opinion, okay, in my opinion, and that's why, okay, let me change the sound. Right, in my opinion, this is probably just, I don't know if the sound is better now. In my opinion, this is probably just a correction, right? And corrections are healthy. So let's go back into the charts and talk a little bit more about some of the tools that I use, right? This is another one. And this can be used in many different ways, right? You can look in a 1 week term. So if we look in a 1 week, we are still in a bull cycle. And I think, like, in order for us to get out, it would need to go below 39,000 according to this tool. Again, this is a premium tool that I pay for, not free. You can't get it unless you pay money. Okay, sound is much better. Sorry about that. I rushed to the live here, right? So, as in the long run, I don't think the bull cycle is over, right? As we can see all the tools. Right now, we are still officially in a bull. It has to go down, according to this one, down to 38,000 for the bull cycle to change on a weekly basis. That means bear. Now, in the short term, of course, you can look at this. We're bearish. In the 1 hour, we're bearish. Boom, right? So this is like, then the question is, well, what is your decision-making process? Are you a trader and you're trying to make money on the hourly base? Very difficult because, as you know, Bitcoin is 24 hours. Are you a swing trader? You trade once a week? Then you wouldn't be looking at the 1 hour, would you? You'd be looking more at the 4 hour or one day. And on 4 hour, we're bearish. Now, if you look at the 4 hour on this tool, it's telling you that, hey, here's what you need to know, okay? It's not going to go much. According to this, okay, I'm just telling you, these are premium tools I paid for, okay? According to this, the reason they have this little, okay, I'm going to erase this. The reason they have this little gray box there is letting you know on the 4 hour view, it's not going to go lower than that. Now, I don't think this is 100% definite, but the reason the guy designed it that way is because he doesn't want people to panic, right? Because when it starts going bearish, how far is it going to go? Well, according to this tool, it's saying it's not going to go further than that. So basically, it's not going to go further than 49,900, which is already done. And it's kind of accurate because if you look at this, it literally bounced off like almost, right? Like I'm zooming in for you. It bounced off. It went, you see this little wick here went down to 50 and then went back up, right? By the way, we're looking at the 4 hour. Now, I've traded on the 1 hour. I've traded on the 5 minute. I just think it's very difficult to make serious money doing that. But there is definitely a time and a place to do that, okay? So this is the PI cycle that everybody's talking about. And the PI cycle, in case you don't know what it is, it's these two lines, right? It says PI cycle, BTC. Again, a premium tool you have to pay for. So apparently, if you go back in the history, okay, and let me get rid of the volume here. And you're going to, anytime that these two lines have touched, like here, right here, the PI cycle top, it's telling you that it's the end of the bull cycle. So again, can we rely on this 100%, guys? I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Ivan designed one of the tools that I use. That's correct. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I paid for it, so I use it. Yeah. I totally understand. I totally understand. But anyway, the PI tool, which you can get on TradingView. I mean, I think if you understand trading, you don't need Ivan's tool, which is very overpriced. I agree. Right. But anyway, the PI cycle, apparently if it touches, like, I don't know, you can see here. Oops, let me go back to this. Let me zoom in. If you zoom in, right, what we see is right here, a touch here, and it tells you PI cycle top. Boom, then we have a crash, right? Now, I think it's a good tool, but, it hasn't touched yet, just so you know. So it went down 69%. That's a lot. No one wants to lose 69%. Of course, if that happens, you probably want to sell, right? I agree with that. I wouldn't take the risk personally. So actually, if you go all the way to the bottom, it's a lot more. It's 83%. So that means you basically lost most of your gains if you sell at the bottom, which you should never do. But the thing that you have to understand is that, I don't know how accurate this PI cycle is going to be, but I would definitely look at it. So it has come close, okay, but it has not touched yet. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, I don't know what that means. What do you think it means? Put in a comment. What's your opinion? What do you think that means? I would just say that when it possibly may not touch for another 2 runs or at least 1 run. Honestly, at least 1 run. That's what I think. Maybe 2. Who knows? And a lot of people think that Bitcoin's not going to go lower than, that 40,000 range. Because psychologically, that's the level that Elon Musk bought at. So they think, psychologically, people think, 40,000 is like a very low price. I don't know that's true. I think there's some truth to that. I know that for me, I definitely think that the higher Bitcoin price is, then the lower, we go back to these tools that I use. This one right here. Right? Like this is going up each day. So that the green zone is the bottom of the bull cycle. That's where it's called the accumulation zone and is the best place to buy. That, like, if you had bought like in this zone, like let's say here, right? You would have made so far 438%. Not bad, right? So this is a very valuable tool. I mean, I think that you can make a lot of money if you understand just that. Buy here, sell here, right? But as I said, we've not reached the top. And if we look back into history, which I'm sure many of you would like to look at, then let's do that. If we look back and we zoom out, right back to 2011, right? We've had how many runs? 1, right? A small one here, if you're going to count that, but it would be 2, 3, and then 4. So we're on the 4th bull run. We've not had that many. I mean, if you think about it, Bitcoin started back in 2011. So, but we've learned a lot. In the beginning, no one knew what they were doing. In the second run, not really. People were freaking out when it crashed. I don't know if you were trading at that time, but I remember it was crazy. Nobody had confidence. But now we have a pretty good idea. We have all the tools that we can use. We did not have these tools available before. Now, do I think it's more risky to trade like at the top here? Yes, of course. I think a lot of people who already made a lot of money, listen, if you traded, right, and you're up, I don't know, 4 or 5, depending if you bought it at 5,000 here, I'd say it was 4,000 here. You went all the way up. Let's say you were smart enough to buy it here and it went all the way up, right? That'd be like a 13x. Listen, you don't want to risk no more. If you made 13x, you're like happy. You want out. So what happens, I think a lot of new money, a lot of people who haven't invested in the previous bull cycles are starting to come in Bitcoin. And when they see these corrections, they freak out, even though the bull cycle is not over yet. So if you made a lot of money, then yeah, you may want to take some profits out. If you haven't made a lot of money, I get it. Probably you want to make money. You want to have a go at this last run, right? You don't want to out right now. So be careful who you like listen to, because I think we will have another run. It might go something like that. So the longer we go, guys, then the higher this bottom part gets. Right? And I think when we get into, I don't know, 35,000 or 40,000 range, like, I'm not sure. Nobody knows. But I think that 30,000, like people say Elon Musk is going to sell. I don't think Elon Musk is going to sell. There's no evidence of that. If he does sell, well, that will be bad news for Bitcoin, of course. We have not heard evidence of that. In fact, if anything, he's just put on his Twitter that he would not sell the Bitcoin that people buy cars with, that he would leave it in the Bitcoin. Now, I don't know if he's going to sell the 1.5 billion that he bought, possibly. But you see, I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk will understand some of this stuff, okay? Because he has the resources, the people who can help him to understand. Now, if you're a billionaire and you're watching this and you don't understand all this stuff, I do have a private session. You can look in the description, and it's $25,000 US to talk to me for 1 hour. And primarily I target high net worth individuals who want personal attention on their Bitcoin investment or crypto, because you should have that intelligence. You should not be taking risk. Okay, so 10-day. Well, we do have like a 10-day growth curve. Okay, let me look at some other things first, because there's a lot of tools to say when the bull market is going to end. Okay, and one of them is the RSI. Now, this needs to be custom made. You can't just put RSI as an indicator. You have to custom make this, which I did. So I looked at every bull cycle and when was the market top. And you can see if we look carefully here, okay, there's a market top here, and the RSI passed that little line. Again, it's custom made, okay? So anytime it went over, it was the end of the market top. Just went over that line. That was the end. You can see here, you can see there, you can see here, and look at this. It touched it, but it was not the end. It touched it. You see this? Let me zoom in for you. Let me zoom in. It basically touched it, but it was not the end. Very important you see that. This one was on the top, and it was the end. Look. So what does that tell us? This is very important. Why is that very important? I'll tell you why. Because look at what's happened. We touched it. Holy shit, right? Like, we literally touched it, but that's happened in the past. We touched it in the past too, and it was not the end. Look at what happened. We touched it here, right here, okay? And then it went up, 670%. Can you imagine you sold? You would have lost of an opportunity to get 670%. Can you see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that this RSI tool is the most accurate one, but so far, any guy who understands technical analysis can play with these tools to see history and see what is the common trait, what is the common pattern. Because let's say that the most important decision you're going to make here is you need to answer the following question. You need to answer the following question. Is this the end of the bull cycle? Right? When is the end? And I predict that it's not the end. I predict that we will have another run, possibly 2 more runs. I do believe that Bitcoin can go to over 100K. And I believe it's going to happen in the next few weeks or few months. No one knows the exact time. As I said, nobody can predict the Bitcoin in the short term. But in the long term, I think if you look at all these tools, then it's going to help you. Going to help you. But here's what you should know as well. When we look at RSI, we can see it's a downtrend on the RSI. That's not necessarily good. Okay? And that was the 3-day. We look at the 1 day, same thing. We're in the downward, it's going down. Okay? And if you look at a 4-hour, which I can't because I'm using BLX. That's the overall trend, but I could change it. If you look at the overall, right? If you look at the 4-hour, same, it's going down. So pretty much on all the time views, the RSI is going down. So what does that mean? Well, it's not good, let me tell you that, because you can see when it's going up, it's going up. Look, right? The RSI is going up. You're much more confident. But then it went down, right? You can see here it went down, poop, and then you can see it went down. Then it went up. Then it's going down again. The question is it going to go all the way down, or is it going to go up? Now, how do we find that out? Well, we go back to the past. And many times in the past, it didn't go all the way down. It went up, and then it went halfway, then it went back up. So the question is it going to do the same thing, go halfway and go back up? It's very possible. So that's why I'm saying like RSI is not the ultimate tool, but these are indicators. You do have to be careful trading right now. Okay? And then we have to look at what's going on. With Ethereum, which is lower risk. Talking about risk, Bitcoin was a 0.8 risk, which means that at 1, basically that's the end of the bull cycle. So instead of trying to predict, my philosophy of trading is instead of trying to predict where the Bitcoin is going to go, okay, I look at the risk. So I'm trying to get in at a lower risk. So Ethereum is 0.6 on its way to 0.5. I think if it goes to 1500, we're now at 0.5. Okay? And so, by the way, we have other tools I want to look at, so stick around. And by the way, if you like the content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Go to the description. And yeah, we'll go on Ethereum as well. And then please go to the description. Follow us on our channel, which is our Telegram channel. Okay. Now, by the way, I will say this. I know that a lot of YouTubers have had this problem where scammers are coming in and they're messaging people and they're asking you to give them money. I would never do that. I've never done that. Please identify what is a scam and what is not a scam. Okay. We literally give you free content on this page and that's it. We don't ask you to give us money in a private, because what they do is they take the identity of a Bitcoin, which is not me, Bitcoin billionaire, and they try to act as me. And this is problem's been going on a lot of YouTube-like channels. It's so unethical. I can't believe it's happening, but it is. And you just have to deal with it. So if anybody privately contacts you, don't respond to them, okay? Just tell them off. Okay, let's talk about Ethereum. So this is a fib replacement tool, okay? And as I told many people, right, that I'm heavily invested, and then I thought, okay, it's going to break through, and then it didn't, because in the short term, no one can like predict. So, and the reason is because we were here. Let me just hide this for now. And because we're following a pattern. Okay, I need to delete this, so give me 1 second. Okay, delete this. When I said it will go up, this is where we were. And we can see that Ethereum was following this pattern. It was breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out a little bit, breathing back in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then I thought it was going to go up, but it didn't. Instead, as the minute I said, okay, Ethereum is about to hit an all-time high, instead it went down. Okay? And as I said, in the short term, nobody can predict exactly what's going to happen. Now, many times they do. They'll say, okay, it's going to crash, and they'll say why it's going to crash. And some of the times they're going to be right. But we have to understand why I said what I said, because when at this price, which is $17.94, the risk ratio of Ethereum was 0.7 or 0.6 something, almost up to like 7. Now it's went down all the way to 0.6, and it's on the way to 0.5. That means the risk ratio compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum is undervalued. There's no reason why Ethereum goes down in price right now. None. Except for, well, these are a big question, right? As you know, with the news, the new update coming in July, right? With the new Ethereum 2.0, this will be the first update. There's a bit of a war with miners, which I thought had been fixed, but apparently it's not. So not sure exactly why Ethereum is going down. I looked into it. I researched it. It's should not be going down, but it is. And that's the fact. It doesn't matter what I feel, what I think. But what I will say, my philosophy is okay. It's okay that I don't predict in the short term. What I will say is that in the long term, I do believe that Ethereum will be going back up for sure, because Ethereum is definitely got a lot of potential. It's undervalued, and with the new things that are coming out, even with the battle they have with the miners, high gas fees, I do believe that Ethereum will go up, and I'm holding on to it. Now, if on the other hand, okay, we see that, go back to the fib replacement tool here. We see now that there are many, and I'll come back to this after. Okay, actually we'll talk about that after. Okay, but here's what's going on, right? We're at 1590 right here. Let's go to auto, and so these are the different support level using fib replacement tool. And what it tells you kind of how far is going to go. Because what I should have done is sold it here when it break and then buy it again here, but I didn't. Because honestly, I rarely use stop loss. Why? Exactly because what's going on here. See that? If I had a stop loss right under the support level, it would have been hit. And then I have to buy it back at a higher price. So I'm not a big fan of stop loss. I've lost too much money using stop loss. What I like to manually do it, okay? So it does require to look at it, but what I'm going to do is I put alarms instead while I sleep. Because a lot of times it will go all the way down, all the way up. And you can see what's going on, right? Look at this. There's a war here, because on one hand, it's trying to go all the way up and then it goes back down. On one hand, it goes all the way down here, but then it goes all the way back up. It's very volatile. Ethereum is volatile. There's a war. So is that war with the miners? What do you think? Put in a comment. Do you think the reason we're seeing Ethereum being volatile is because of the war with the miners that are angry at Ethereum upgrade in 2.0? Put in your comment what you think. So using the fib replacement tool, I would say that if like people ask me, like they know I'm invested in Ethereum. What is my selling point? Well, would have been here. I missed it. Not a big deal. No, I'm not happy about it. You know, but I honestly think it's so undervalued. Why would I sell it? And now it's even more undervalued. And I have one coach, and he's so, gosh, he's not a risk taker like me, and he's buying it. This guy is like the least risk taker, and he's got it set up to buy it at 1,500. Okay, and so anyway, I even if it goes down, honestly, I may not sell it. I might just buy more, right? So the key is just buy more. Like if it does that, so we can see the 1446 support level, okay? Okay, what are your questions, guys, okay? Because I went through a lot. I want to keep this relevant to you. Right. Let me go up. Yes, I will do a giveaway tomorrow, I think. Okay, Friday? Yeah, Friday I'll do this. What is it? $80 giveaway, and then I'll give 5 people $10. Okay, so I know I've not scheduled it. I'll schedule it later, but I do plan to give that. Okay, for people who are struggling out there. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So give me your questions about what I taught. Though try to keep this relevant because there's so much confusion out there right now. I feel with Bitcoin and what people are saying, the end of the bulls like cycle, and it could be, but I don't think so. That's why I'm still investing myself. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's right. That's what we call a wig, right? Wick, not wig, wick, a wick, right? As we can see, yeah, we can see those wicks, strong wicks, right? Going up and then going down. And so generally speaking, as a principle, you don't act on a candle until it closes. So how do you know if it's going to close or not? Well, here we go. This is what I'm talking about, right? Right here. How do we tell how much time left? If you look at the green thing on the left here, right here, it says 21 minutes, 39 seconds. So you got to look at that. The candle's you're not acting on a candle. Sometimes it's very hard because sometimes you see it go all the way down. Like if it's red and, like it's going all the way down, then you're like freaking out, right? But then it goes all the way back up. And if you sold here, oh shit, that means that you lost your ownership of coins and you got to buy it back at a higher price. So gosh, you got to be very careful. Now, as a beginner trainer, I made that mistakes many times. So that's why we don't act on a candle until it's closed. Otherwise, you keep having to buy if you're wrong and you predict wrong. And remember, nobody can predict 100%. So you need a plan. You always need a plan. You need a plan if you sell, when you buy back. And you always need a plan. When are you going to buy it back? If you sold it, when are you going to buy it back? Are you going to buy it back now? Or are you going to buy it back at a higher price? Obviously, the goal here is to buy at a lower price and sell it at a higher price. Okay? And guys, I did a lot of, short-term trading, but I think it's hard. You're better off doing at least once a week. I think that's much easier, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that could be one reason why it's going down, right? It could be 44,000. 44,000 is not bad. It's not bad. We're looking at Ethereum right now if we go back to, right? But how did you come up with that, right? If we go back, oops, and I totally lost that. If you go back to did you use the 21-week average, which is what we would use, right? So 21 week, right? Or 20. 20 is 2021. It would be here, right? So I don't know how you came with that price, 41, but yeah. right now, this is where we are on the 50-day, right? It bounced right off. You can see how many times did it bounce off. It's been pretty consistent in this bull like cycle. What's unique about this bull cycle is that this 50-day moving average has become the norm, right? In the past, by the way, you can see what the patterns are as well. It's building a pattern, right? Like there's your bottom, there's your there's your support, there's your your resistance. So it's kind of building that pattern, not 100% because this went over the top here. But we can definitely see that the 50-day moving average has been the norm. Whether we break through or not, you're guessing. Your guess is, I mean, who knows? It's possible. It's possible we do this and then we go up, right? What else? Well, good luck with that. Good luck. I mean, if it goes down that low, it might. We'll see what's going to happen. We have a battle with Ethereum that could potentially open some low buying points. But if you're already bought in, just buy more. If you're uncomfortable with the risk, then sell it and then hope it goes back down at lower prices. It might. I do open my mind to that possibility. I can't deny that Ethereum could go much lower. I bought it at lower price. I sold it and bought it again. And I bought it recently at 1,300. And then I bought some more at 1,800 and bought some at 15 or something. So I buy it over and over again. And if it goes down more, I'm going to buy more again, right? Okay. So what are your questions, guys? Okay, thank you about that. I mean, look, I'm just sharing tools. Again, the biggest analysis you can make is long-term. I've often said in my YouTube channel, think long-term. Think long-term. Don't try to guess what's going to happen in the short term. No one can do that. No one can do that, right? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to... I do have NFT coins. I bought domains that are NFT. That's what I bought. Because if you remember back in the old days, when the internet came out, I was buying domains at that time too. And if you bought the premium ones, you could sell them, right? So I own a bunch of premium domains like .coms. And then the crypto, right, is also like .crypto, is also become an NFT, which means that if you think about it, with blockchain technology, this is what I really like about it, is like you can't shut it down. Like a .com, they can shut you down. You know what I mean? Like anyone, like they could, if there's a problem, they could shut down your website. So with blockchain technology, imagine your website running, with a website, imagine your website running on blockchain technology. No one can ever shut you down. Means your business. I've had domains. Not going to go into the story, but back in the old days, I think it was some Tony Robbins domain. Tony Robbins, the popular motivational guy. And anyway, I was on top of all the search engine, and he was at the bottom because he didn't know much about technology. And I was a webmaster, like back in the old days, like when the internet came out, I was a webmaster, a programmer. I've done JavaScript programming, CGI, all that stuff. Like I'm a bit of, I don't look like a nerd today because I don't do that. But back in the old days, I was doing that kind of stuff. So what I see, right, is finance. But NFT coins, I'm not looking into like, I don't know what are you guys recommend NFT coins, but I do wanted to talk about what I think the internet is going. And for me, things are so obvious in my own mind because I've seen the internet and I was heavily invested in the internet when it came out. I was involved in the bubble. I was involved in many different stocks and things like that, and buying like domains. So now I see kind of a similar pattern where what's going on with blockchain, right? Blockchain is moving into decentralized, and if you don't understand the future of decentralized blockchain, like why do we buy all those coins? Because you believe blockchain is going to change the world. You know what I mean? Like, and I forget where I saw that, but I remember looking at sorry, here, I gotta take that off. But blockchain decentralized, and I forget where I saw that, like uses, like there was a website and they went through all the things that blockchain is going to do for you, right? Like finance and real estate. I don't think this is it here, but they went through like real estate, business, right? Like everything's going to be done. Everything's going to change, especially so a website's going to be decentralized. Basically, no one can shut you down. I don't remember the exact websites that I went through, but I guess if you put real estate, finance, a whole bunch, right? I mean, there's so many application to blockchain, guys. I can't tell you like how much. It's unbelievable, really, really. So, yeah. Just saying. Okay, well, hello from France. Any more questions that I can answer for you about what's going on? Because I think we have a lot of biased YouTubers out there. Personally, it's my opinion, and some of them have good stuff. I would say that, but just like if they took out the affiliate and the money that they make, then I would have more trust in them, right? So one of the things people are unaware as well is the effect of the stock market on the Bitcoin and the effect on how much printing is being done in the dollar. Those are big factors. Like the more the government prints money and the real inflation rate. Like what do you guys think the inflation rate is? The real one. Not what they advertise, because they recently announced that it's 1 point something percent, like below 2%. Are they kidding me? Really? Like, are they serious? Come on. What do you think the real inflation rate is every year? And why do you think people are so sick and tired of our governments, right, printing money because it inflates? And then they lie about the inflation and they say that it's only 2%. But that, when you look at it, is it really true, right? Put in the comment what you think the real inflation rate is. So, because as we know, the U.S. government print a lot of money, man, 1.8 trillion. All the governments are putting a lot of like money. Where does that money come from, right? Yeah. Well, some people, like if you look at Michael Saylor, he's basically saying the inflation rate is about 20%. Gonna be, or something like that. Don't quote me on what he said, but look at what Michael Saylor says. 20%. This is crazy. If that's true, I don't think I agree with him on that. 20% is a bit on the high end. 15, right? We see a bunch of examples. But it's not what the government is telling us. That's the point, right? 15, right? 8. Right. Well, I think if we can look, two things need to happen before the alt season come, right? Where we have a parabolic move, which I'm heavily invested in altcoins and I really want it to come because that's how we can get more money, right? Get more Bitcoin. So we need the altcoin season to come. But for that to happen, We need a sideways movement of Bitcoin. Not if it goes up too fast, then people sell their altcoins and buy Bitcoin, right? If it goes down, people sell. They just sell. They don't buy like anything until it starts going back up again. But when Bitcoin goes sideways, that's good for the altcoins. But with all the volatility of Bitcoin, people have a hard time buying the altcoins, right? So, yeah, 2%. That's what's advertised. But AJ, what I'm saying is that's not an accurate number. By inflation rate, I mean the ability to buy products, okay? Your buying power of like products. As they print more money, money is not real, okay? Money is not based on anything. Fiat currency is not real. It's a perception. It's a perception. The government can make as much as they want, and they have to with all the debt that they're in. If you look at how much debt they're in so much debt. So 2% is not a real one. I think that's my point, that, you know, you should not be holding fiat currency unless you believe the bull cycle is over and you're waiting for it to go back down. Then you may want to hold some fiat currency. If you're holding it in crypto, right, you can hold USDC, right? Right? So any more questions, guys? Right. So anyway, the point that I wanted to make tonight, just that the bull cycle is not over. If you like what we share with you tonight, make sure to subscribe to our channel and join our Telegram group, which a lot of valuable info goes there. Because a lot of times I just don't have time to go on to YouTube and do these kind of things. So I post on the Telegram group. So I will put for you the link in the comment now if you're not already joining us, to follow me on Telegram as well, which is where we're most, that's the one. I have Twitter and all that, but I don't post much. Telegram I like. It's very, very easy for me to post there. How long will it go? Well, the average bull cycle, if you want to look at it, I mean, it's hard. No one knows that. But there are some intelligence that we can look at. So his question, just so we know, right? How long will the bull cycle go? I think that's what he's asking, yeah? So for us to answer that question, okay, we would need to go back and look at 1 month view, okay? And okay. Sorry, guys. So if we go back in previous cycle, this is 2008, right? And I'm going to get rid of this MA line here, right? So we go from the bottom, right? Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 month about. If you count that candle here. This is a 1 month candle. I'm not sure you can see, but let me make it clearer. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, this does not look like 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 months. So now we are at how many months, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if history repeats itself, then yeah, we potentially could be going at another 2 months if history repeats itself. Okay. Not sure. This is not like rocket science. Like, I'm not giving you some. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a good answer or not. But it's one answer, because it could go much longer. I don't think it will go shorter though. But that's my feeling based on everything that's going on. But Is Bitcoin overly extended compared to what? Of course, Bitcoin is overly extended, but it's always overly extended. And the way we know that, we compare to the 50-day moving average. It's always overextending. And then if you go to 10-day moving average or 20, whatever you want to use, it goes above that. Then it's really overextended. Right now, it's overextended, but within the, you know, it's hit the 50-day. So that's fine. Okay, guys, if you just dropped in, make sure to subscribe to our channel. You'll have to watch it again. But the purpose of today's live, yeah, I know you want to check. The purpose of today's live is for me to show you the big picture of where we are in the bull cycle. And so you can have more confidence in doing another trade. And if you're overextended, you may want to take some out in case we go below the 50-day moving average. Okay, guys, I'm going to end here. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and go to our Telegram group and follow us there. And I will answer the rest of your questions there, okay? So, Anush, you can go and ask that question on the Telegram group, and I'll give you some answer, okay? All right, guys, good night. As always, remember, always, always, always think long term. Short term is very difficult, okay? Always, always think long term. See you guys. Bye for now.